Buonanotte, buonanotte a tutti. Good evening. I'm gonna go over books. Um, I don't, I don't think I should probably go over some books, especially if you're gonna just start beginning and I'm gonna go over the ones that I think are appropriate for this occasion. This is the the art movement or art styles that I clinged to after when I came back to art after many years of not drawing or painting. When I was a child in preschool, I was really good at drawing. I had a really natural talent for it, and I love to draw. But then I grew up, and then things happened, and then I just stopped. I just gave it up and started doing other things. When I came back to art, this was the thing that drew me back into it. There's a movie. Picasso has a movie. I saw it on, I think it was PBS, a really long time ago in Los Angeles. I think it was PBS, or it was I forgot what channel. I haven't seen I've seen cable in a long time. I think it was PBS. I think it was, no, it wasn't PBS. It was something. It was another learning. It was one of those learning channels. Anyways, I saw that Picasso had a movie where he's painting. It's the entire movie is basically him painting on different canvases and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when I saw that, I started getting back into drawing. Not drawing. I started getting back into the idea of making art. And then when I did actually start buying materials, was here in Bogota. I bought canvas, and then I bought some oils and some brushes. Because I saw that movie, Jackson Pollock movie. I was greatly inspired and really wanted to get back into working. Get back into art and working and painting and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's also a channel that I used to watch because we used to have it in the house. Film and Arts. It's called Film and Arts. I think they still exist. It's an English based. I think it's in London. I'm not sure where it is. Film and Arts. It's a great channel because they show a lot of documentaries on painters, on Cezanne, on Caravaggio, on Uccello, Paolo Uccello. Which one? There was another one that I saw. I think it was an Art 51. I think it was contemporary art. Anyways, it was a great way to look at art and be informed of what was going on, and to look at art history. So when I went to go back into it, I saw that movie Jackson Pollock. I really wanted to do something on canvas, and this was the thing that drew me into it. This is a really good I really like this editorial. Tachin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Taskin or Tachin. I don't know where they're based, but it sounds German. I don't know if it's German. Anyways, I really wanted to do something after seeing that movie. This is a great editorial. I got this one first. This was the first one I got. It's it's a series. This Tachin series, they're really thin ones, but they're really they've got really good paper, and the image quality is excellent. Really good for maybe archiving images. This is Clyfford Still. It's one of my great inspirations. This is a great painter. The abstract expressionists in New York were a huge influence on me coming back to art after many years of not drawing or painting. Obviously, de Kooning is one of my all-time favorite painters. at first glance, I couldn't really understand what was so good about this, but then it was that same thing that was so it was like repellent, like it repelled me. This art was so repelling, and I didn't like it, and it was so much I didn't like it that I had to figure out what it was that I didn't like about it. It looked very, very ugly. It looked very ugly to me. But then as I started getting to know the artist and I started looking at more of his work, he's one of my favorite painters now. De Kooning. That's his wife, Elaine. She was, they were married for a time. I think I have his autobiography here. This guy's, this is a great autobiography, by the way. This is a really, really great way of, it's a lot more advanced, and obviously it's his life. It's more of the things he did in New York, and before he lived in Rotterdam, he went to a school. It wasn't art school in Europe. It was not illustration school. It was like a design school where they can design everything. They would design furniture, clothes. I think even architecture. They had something to do with architecture. I think this is the school. No, this is New York. I think this is New York. Anyways, this is a great book if you want to. This is the school. They learned design and decorating. He learned a lot about decoration and very, very, very formal education. So when he got to New York, he was more than ready to pursue a career. But he obviously in that era, it was, very difficult to become a painter. It still is, obviously, but there was less access to a lot of things that we have now, and he had to spend most of his time working as a house painter. So he worked with house paint, and he painted houses for a living. He had to eat, so it was a lot at the beginning. It was more a lot of that house painting, and then I forgot. I have to read this again. Oh, but then he obviously developed into this incredible painter, and he was also friends with a really great painter. Another one of my favorite painters is Gorky, Armenian painter. He's really tall, really smart person who de Kooning was really drawn to because of both of their knowledge. They were both European, and they both knew a lot about art. And it was just I think that's him, Gorky. No, that's not Gorky. Robert Jonas. I don't know who that was. No, I don't remember the whole book, but I know Gorky. Yeah, Gorky's somewhere in here. We're very, very much in the task of sitting down and talking about art and sharing ideas, and both of them were like the most formally trained. I don't know if Gorky was formally trained. I think, and then he married Elaine, and she's a painter too, or was a painter. He was an incredible painter. How the way as a draftsman, he was incredible. This is Elaine, very beautiful drawing, incredible artist. Anyways, this is a highly recommended, de Kooning. This is a great book. It's very, very well informed book about his life. Anyway, so this is The Movement. This is one of the books. This is a really great book. And maybe there's some. There's Gorky's right here. That's Peggy Guggenheim. It's one of the museums in New York. I've never been there, but I've seen the movie, and I know a lot about these artists. I haven't read this in detail, but I've looked a lot. I've really spent a lot of time looking at these things. Arshile Gorky, I think that's his name. Armenian painter. He's excellent painter. I love his space and his line. You see, there's a lot of pigment on the canvas, and it's usually like the same idea, but there's these lines right here, that really fine lines and really weird shapes. Very, very influenced by Picasso, obviously, like de Kooning was. Every painter was obviously not obviously, they were. Jackson Pollock. He's a great painter. Yeah, I would say he's one of my favorite painters. I don't think I have sort of a an idea of Jackson Pollock becoming famous because of other reasons, which which aren't very true, or not true, not that they weren't true, but just like a lot of people are focused on other aspects of his life, which have nothing to do with this. Well, I guess it has stuff to do with this, but I really like his older work. It's what I'm drawn to is this stuff, for example. This is one of his first paintings. He also had formal training. I think it's in the Art Students League. Mark Rothko, one of his first paintings. This wasn't very liked, but I think it's great. Mark Rothko. These Tachian books are very informative. They're really. I think this is what's this guy? What's this guy's name? Oh no, but this is a great painting. I don't know who painted this. Hans Hofmann. Yep, this is a great painting. It looks like a Gorky. Looks a lot like a Gorky. I think is it? Yeah, Hans Hofmann. It looks a lot like a Gorky. Yeah. De Kooning. Anyways, there's a lot of really great paintings here. One of Jackson Pollock's masterpieces. This stuff will get you going. You'll want to paint and start experimenting. This is Jackson Pollock. This is what I like about Jackson Pollock's work. It's very vibrant, and it's still figurative, right? It's still figurative and really great work. Gorky. Really great stuff. These washes, really great. Let's see, Hans Hofmann. I guess, yeah, it does look a lot like Gorky, but it's different. It's very similar, but it's different. Oh, this guy's Barnett Newman. This is excellent. That's Barnett Newman. New York. Excellent painter. Mark Rothko, one of his earlier works. Very expressive, and the Jackson Pollock's wife. I always forget her name because she's not as famous as he was, but she's a great artist. Lee Krasner. She's a great artist. This is excellent. It's very rhythmic, if you can tell. Like if I explain it, if you saw the workshop, it's very rhythmic work. I don't think it's bad if musicians get into stuff like this. I think it's very much what is it? What is that word? Looking for the right word. It's very I would say it's very educative, and it's a lot different, right? The design and fine art are two completely different things, but the essence of painting is very much in this abstract expressionist group. The idea of becoming a painter, of being a painter. It's not design, it's not software, it's not. That's why I think it's great if we use software, because it strays us away from the idea of this traditional painting. Even though I'm very traditional, and I'm always for the traditional. If we're gonna be working with electricity and gear and electronics and guitars and music, I think software is excellent, because it takes the fine art in not so much using not so I'm probably confusing myself. Not so much to take the quality out, but just it takes it out of the fine art realm into the like new stuff like design and graphic design, graphics, computers, etc., etc., etc. That's probably why I think it's great to use software, because it takes it out of this context and it puts it in on a whole different one, more accessible to other people, especially younger audiences. You know, I don't know if a 10-year-old probably wouldn't enjoy looking at this as much as someone like me, because I'm very drawn to painting, and I have been since I was a little boy, and my my creativity, my need to be creative and to want to read books and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, is very drawn into this world. But you know, for someone who doesn't think this is good or interesting, that's what the software is good for. You know, for graphic design, digital cameras. That's excellent for someone who's not interested in this at all, and but wants to work with art and maybe film and stuff. You know, the grid I said to use on the camera is an excellent thing to also have. Clyfford Still, I mentioned him earlier. I really like the sacrifice he makes on certain parts of his work. Like, I'm sure there was stuff here already, but he sacrifices stuff. Things I'm going to do on my canvas right now. Sacrifice things that I've really enjoyed. Like if I take this stuff out, then some of this stuff will come alive. This is another de Kooning. It's really expressive painting. He's trying to stray away from figurative ideas, etc., etc. I think it's great. This stuff, it's really hard to actually make one of these paintings. It doesn't look complicated, but it's highly complicated. And then when it comes time to explain it to someone, it's even more so. It's very complicated and requires a lot of thought and pondering and knowledge, education, etc., etc. Barnett Newman, this thing is incredible. I've never seen anything like this. I think this is great. Barnett Newman is great. I don't know who she is. Betty Parsons. Oh, Betty Parsons. I think she's the owner of another. I'm not sure who that is. Betty Parsons. Lavender Mist. Jackson Pollock. De Kooning. Right there with his wife. Anyways, yeah, this is one of the movements. This is a Santa Monica-based painter. Richard Diebenkorn. He painted. He was a painter from, I think he was born in Santa Monica or somewhere in the West Coast. But he painted a lot. There's an Ocean Park series. I think he painted it in Santa Monica, the ocean. He's one of my favorite painters. He's one of my favorite painters. It's excellent composition, color, line, rhythm. Very, very, very interesting work. And it's not decorative. You know, things that there's a difference between decorative art and this stuff. This stuff has a different soul, different body, different purpose. This is excellent. I do have Richard Diebenkorn. I have a Richard Diebenkorn series. It's too far up here, but I have the Ocean Park series. I'll probably share that later. Anyways, this is Jackson Pollock. This stuff is great. You initially think it's like, oh, a child could have done this, but if you really know about this, you realize that no child would ever do this, something like this. This stuff is very, very, very expressive, and he knows what he knew exactly what he was doing. This is a child would never do anything like this. It's something like what's his name? John de Buffet. Jean de Buffet. I forgot his name. Or they say he drew like an insane, like a person from an insane asylum, or like a child. I don't see. I know they use that reference to probably to say that it's something that could be easily achieved, but this isn't easily achieved. This is a lot of hard work and pondering, and it's a really great composition. Robert Motherwell. I'm not a very big fan of Robert Motherwell. I do like his. I think I've read interviews, or one interview, or I saw something on YouTube, or I read it somewhere in one of these books. I like the way he thinks. I like his philosophy and his theory about art. I think it's great, but I don't like his work. I don't think it's not of my liking. It's not of my liking. It's in here. This is the stuff that he a lot of black and white, big spots and stains. I like his philosophy on art though. His theory on art, it's excellent. I'm not a really big fan of his work though. Mark Rothko. That's excellent painting. Philip Guston. He's a very grotesque painter, if I can say that. This figurative stuff is really grotesque. It's really thick and like morbid. Very that's the word, grotesque. I think it's it has this quality which is it's attractive in its own way, but it's heavy. This is a heavy thing to get into. Philip Guston. This is Lee Krasner. Yeah, Lee Krasner. Jackson Pollock's wife. Yeah, she's a great painter too. Really great painter. Joan Mitchell. I don't know too much about her work. I do like this though. I like the green and the white. 7 Types of Ambiguity. This is great. Helen. Oh, she's very famous. Helen Frankenthaler. There's a lot of women in this group, this art movement. Gottlieb, Adolf Gottlieb. This one and Philip Guston are very, very similar in style. Yeah, it's not something I would think is of my liking, but it's got its essence, and it's theirs. This is a great painter, Klein, Franz Klein. Anyways, this is the book of Barton and Newman. This is the book that I usually went to when I was starting the getting back into painting. Mark Rothko. No, this is another one. Ad Reinhardt. This is very similar. This is very laborious work. If you look at all those paintings, it looks like it's very, very, very laborious in a different kind of way. It's not like a Turner, for example, right? This is very laborious, but it's like the traditional painter with an easel making a landscape. This is very different. It's very laborious, but it almost looks like an industrial, almost like an industrial movement. Anyways, this thing has its own. Mark Rothko, The Chapel. I think this is in Texas somewhere. Houston. This is an excellent thing to know, to visit. Excellent. Anyways, this was my go-to, and I just started getting into painting, so I got into this one. I didn't get this one I didn't get this one until much later. But the expressionists, the abstract expressionists of New York are an excellent reference to look at, or to counsel. I don't know what the proper word for it is, if you want to get into painting, because like I said, like I've said, and I think I'll keep saying it for the rest of my life, is just that painting is one thing, drawing is another thing, music is something completely way different. The same as architecture, the same as design, the same as graphics. All of these have their own structure, history, and they deserve to have their own place in history, own space, right? If we think of this as all one thing, we're really missing the essence of what these things really represent. For example, in this case, he was a house painter, and his paintings aren't anything remotely close to what painting a house is, right? He probably used techniques. He probably used materials from Home Depot or whatever the name of the store was in that. But there's still brushes. It's still paint. But his mind, the purpose is different, right? If he's in a house painting in the house, the purpose is to protect the walls, to maybe keep the house from keep the walls from deteriorating. It's a different purpose. It's to conserve the house, to conserve the apartment, to conserve the kitchen, the space in which we work. But painting this stuff is completely different. This involves the mind, ideas, dreams, expression, my things, my world, my view, etc., etc., right? This isn't to protect the house, right? This is probably to keep the house, because if you need to live off of this, you have to probably sell the painting, and it's a way of seeing it. But each of these things, should have their own place. The same as painters, right? This is completely different, a completely different thing, a completely different world, a completely different technique, but it's incredible. William Turner. He's an excellent draftsman. He was an excellent watercolorist and praised by the Royal Academy in England. Excellent painter. Alphonse Mucha. I really love his designs. I think he obviously portrays women very, very elegantly and very beautifully. Very, 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 very excellent way of composing pictures. These circles around him, it looks very almost religious, and these designs are beautiful. This stuff around him, flowers. Yeah, this is another book that I love because it's incredible. He was an excellent draftsman. Look at those designs. Yeah. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. These women are very elegant and fine, refined, not delicate, very almost like an Egyptian, almost like from an Egyptian temple. Their clothes are very it's almost like their clothes caress their body, and I don't know. I can't think of the right words, but it's one of his models. But yeah, he's one of my favorite draftsmen. I don't really counsel him for like color, because his stuff is really complicated it's really flat, right? It's really flat. There's not very much expression going on here, but it is beautiful. I love. I'm still, I'm just, if I had to pick on a specific something that really attracts me about him, is the way he draws. Look at this. This is beautiful. Yeah, Alphonse Mucha, one of my favorite artists. Rembrandt. What to say about Rembrandt? Dutch painter, who was very, very, very much dedicated to his work. Loved to work, and was very much sought after. Everybody who was anybody, who had money, who was part of any type of elite, was always looking for him specifically to paint their portrait. Very important people in not Rotterdam, in Holland, were attracted to his work, and he became popular from when he was very young. He just all of a sudden became very, very popular, very famous. Something that's very it's very hard to consider someone nowadays that they became famous for portrait painting. It's unreal. And he was very, very famous throughout his life until he got old and out of style, and I think he almost became homeless, and ended up I think dying alone, because he lost his house, he lost everything. But he had a great life and was very famous in his time. But then when he got old, everybody just stopped looking for him. And this is this painting. This thing is one classic painting. You could look this up. El Bueydo Desollado. Óleo sobre madera. Oil on wood, on a wood panel. 94 by 69 centimeters. It's a bit large, but it's not huge. And compared to maybe this thing is incredible. Anyways, Rembrandt's he's an excellent draftsman. He's I learned a lot from him, copying his etchings. If you want to learn how to draw, copy Rembrandt etchings. Not drawings, copy his etchings. These are great. A great way to learn how to draw, or to at least learn about light source, right? He was one of those just one of those painters that used just one light source. That's why it looks the way it does. Jackson Pollock, obviously, one of the great abstract expressionists. I would say the one that kind of. But I still think de Kooning is my favorite. But this one, these old paintings, those Jackson Pollock paintings, are incredible. This is it's like tribal, almost like an Egyptian temple. This is crazy. This is really impressive. It's almost like Miro paintings. Very beautiful. Very beautiful, expressive. This one. What did I have? I had something here because I really, really love this painting. Nice, yeah. Jackson Pollock, drip painting. He was figurative at the beginning. I think he was a student in the Art Students League. Botticelli, one of Leonardo da Vinci's rivals, contemporaries. Great painter. Renaissance. This is not high Renaissance, but Michelangelo was high Renaissance, and Leonardo da Vinci was the beginning of the Renaissance. I'm sorry, no. I'm confusing. Giotto is the the birth of the Renaissance, and Giotto, and I think it was Giotto who was one of the first Renaissance artists. Then it was Da Vinci, Botticelli, and then there was Michelangelo. It's like three different parts of the Renaissance. These are really, anyways. This is one. I think that's a portrait of him. Botticelli. This is a really famous painting. People don't know who that is. The Venus of I forgot the name. And de Kooning, obviously. Yeah, this is basically it. If you want to look for these books, it's a Taschen editorial. It has hundreds of these. Great way to start. Great way to start. I'll go over more books. Comic books. If you're gonna be into design and maybe drawing things to learn the model and the comic book. It's a great way to start. Even though it seems almost impossible, but if you try to grab the basic shapes, for example, this is round, this is a big circle here, right? The hand is it takes up this much space on the paper. You probably won't get it, exactly the same, but it'll give you an idea of what you can do. Anyways, books and comic books are a great way, great way to start and to develop yourself. If you have no idea about art, if you're interested, if you don't want to take a course, I've seen some courses when I was in Los Angeles. I was looking at some drawing classes, and they're very expensive. So you may want to prepare yourself before going into an art school or into an art class, or maybe taking on a big, like someone tells you to, could you paint this or could you draw this? You probably want to educate yourself a little before you start doing or taking on big tasks. Okay, so yeah, that's the video for today. Please like and subscribe. If you're interested in this or anything else, let me know on questions and comments. I will try to answer questions the best that I can. I don't think that you should back to maybe books. Going back to books, I don't think you should probably get stuff that's too out of your. If you look at a book and it's like $400 and it says it's a drawing book, something like no, it's something that looks completely ridiculously expensive. I wouldn't jump right away and get one of those. I would get something more like one of these. There's tons of books. There is one I wanted to share. Yeah, let's share it. Let's go. I gotta go back here. This is one of my paintings. That's part 2 of it, and that's part 1 of it. It's a biptych. I think that's the diptych. I don't know how it's pronounced in this is a yeah, well, there's a lot of books you can get everywhere and anywhere. Here, let's look at these. They're all good. They're all good books. I wouldn't get very expensive books right away. I would okay, so this is Ashley Wood. He's an Australian artist, a comic book artist. Excellent artist. He has this approach towards comic book figures, which is very common, almost like a Frank Miller. Very high contrast. But he has instances of oil, of wanting to paint with oil, and some of this is very graphic and maybe not for kids, but it's very like an adult comic book. But there's instances where it's really incredible oil work. Some of this stuff is really classically based. probably shouldn't show this. Yeah, it's a comic book. Not for children. So if your kids are watching this, please make sure they don't. That says, you know, it's comic book. It's ink. It's very very quick, rapid. But then there's stuff like this, which is excellent. Figurative oil painting. Great artist. There's this Art of Drawing the Human Body. This is an excellent book. I think, I don't know if too many people know about this, but I got this book off the internet. It's a PDF, and then I printed it out. I think it's excellent. I think it's a really good book. It's not very well known. City Editorial, Sterling Publishing, New York. It's a very good book for if you're gonna start to draw the human body. It's excellent book. There's a study of the nude figure, basic anatomy and synthesis. Yeah, it's a really nice book. It's a really good book. There's child models, hands, measuring the body. Very not very elaborate chapters, like from one technique to the other. It's just like a couple pages, but I use this one a lot, for example. This is a really good technique. It's just like different line techniques, shading, the virtues of doing studies. This is a really good one. I think maybe you could find it online still. I don't know, the PDF is probably still there. Lines and soft line. This is the thing I was talking about, lines, different kinds of lines. Right? Different strengths, weights, lighter ones, you know, the broken line, the hairy line. It's like a hairy line. It's just, anyways, this is a really good book. There's really line drawing. This is an excellent book. This is one of my friends in high school had. He's a tattoo artist right now. Bern Hogarth. It's a different title. This one's in Spanish. I think it's the human. Let's look at the original. The original. It says dynamic figure drawing. Bern Hogarth, I think, was the creator of Tarzan, one of the 1950s comics, like the first Tarzan comic book. He was the one responsible. If you look on YouTube, Bern Hogarth, he's got like a figure drawing class in there. You should check that out. This is an excellent book. This is drawing from the imagination, basically learning how to draw basic shapes. And then applying creativity to it's the basic circles, cylinders, triangles. It looks very complicated, and it is. You need this needs a lot of practice. And triangles, cylinders, circles, and somewhere there's like a box for the I forgot the name of that. There's different perspectives of the way that this is an excellent book. There's a lot of information here. It's falling apart because I would like to copy the pictures in the book. It's an excellent way of viewing light, right? There's the shade and the light. What space does the light take up? Muscle. I'm guessing he knew this by memory. Right. This is a great book. It's a great book. I think that's it. Oh yeah, and these are the sketchbooks I was talking about. These Blick sketch pads, Canson sketch paper. It's recycled sketch paper, but I think it's good. I think it's excellent. I think it's I think it's really good paper. Like these are really, this is like 20, no, like not 20, it's like almost 15 years old. But it's still durable. It's great for ink, and like instead of spending, I don't know, like 20 or 30, 40 more dollars for a sketch pad, I'd start with one of these. These are excellent. Like if I were to go to Blick right now, I would get one of these because I think it's excellent paper. It's my personal opinion. 65 pound, 96 gram. It's heavy paper. This will last. It's archival. It's excellent. Anyways, well, I hope you like all this information. Please like and subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Well, I hope you enjoyed all this information. This is a lot of information to take in. The video is going to be up there on YouTube. If you have any questions, if there's something you want to know about anything or something, I'm going to keep making videos. There's a lot of artists making a lot of videos. There's comic book artists, well-known comic book artists. If you're interested in any of this, check all that stuff out. There's a lot of information here, so well, I hope you like it. The video's going to stay up on YouTube. I'm trying to think if I forgot something. Let's see, what else do I have? Some of my drawings when I started to get into anyways. All right. Have a good night, and thank you for watching.